It's me, MLB. Here is Ino in the spotlight today. I didn't realise how popular he was until so many of you requested him. In the trivia section of his wiki page, it says he likes drinking parties. The more you know. So that's why he's drinking in this one shot. But it's also his birthday, so we'll forgive him for being so drunk. So without further ado, I bring to you Ino X female listener, and this one is titled Drunk Boyfriend. You checked your watch one more time as you sprinted for the train. Oh God, I'm so late, you cried internally as you barely made it on board your train and then grabbed for the overhead handle to hold onto it so you could catch your breath as well as not topple over when the train took off, and you checked your watch again to start calculating what time you would get to the bar, and if you needed to text your boyfriend Takuma to let him know that you would be arriving. Pulling your phone from your pocket, you pulled up his number and quickly punched out a message with your single free thumb. Hey, sorry, running very late, should be there in about 20 minutes, you sent. You waited, watching the little bubble under your message change to delivered, and then waited to see if he would reply. You watched, waiting. No reply, so you switched your phone screen off and sighed. Oh, he's already been there for over 1 hour. Way to be late to your own boyfriend's party, you thought. Just then your phone buzzed in your hand and you looked at it to see who it was, happy when you saw that it was Takuma replying. Hey, he replied, and you mentally facepalmed. That was way too many Y's on the end of that hey for it to be a sober hey, and you wondered how many drinks he'd had already. Oh God, I hope he's not sloshed by the time I get there, you thought, wailing internally. Drunk Takuma is a little bit of a handful. 20 minutes later, you had hopped off the train and had walked the short walk to the bar and was standing there with hands on the door handle, ready to go in. But judging by the loud music coming from inside, it sounded like the party was already very well underway. With a deep breath in, you stepped in, looking around at the sea of people inside and trying to spot some familiar faces, but unfortunately a very tipsy person spotted you first and called out loudly to get your attention. Hey! They called, and you looked over to see a bright pink-cheeked Takuma stumbling towards you. Oh, hey babe, you greeted him as he fell onto you, reeking of alcohol already. Hey, pretty lady, you got here just in time, he slurred. In time for what? You asked. In time for me to sing for you, he said brightly. Oh God, you thought internally, giving him a wobbly forced smile. Oh, yay! What song are you gonna sing? You asked. I'm gonna sing a song just for you because I love you and I want everyone to know how much I love you, and I love you even more than birthday parties and drinking and more than my birthday, he said. Oh, well, that's very sweet of you, you replied, with as much kindness as you could muster. It's my birthday today. Did you know that? He then asked you with full seriousness. Yeah, babe, I knew, you said. Oh, you did? He asked with surprise. Happy birthday, you replied. Oh, he said with the most loved-up look on his face, holding you on both shoulders as he stared into your eyes with his watery ones. You're most amazing girlfriend ever. You're just so amazing, and I love you, and you're really just amazing, you asked with a bit of a deadpan look on your face. Ha! Hey, I was just about to say that. How did you know? He asked with a drunk laugh, still holding you. Ha ha! That's amazing. You can read minds. Yep. I just have that power, you replied. And he laughed again, and then he heard his song start up, and he let you go and whipped around so quickly you had to grab onto him to stop him from falling over. My song! He shouted. Wait for me! You watched with an amused look on your face as you saw him stumble his way back towards the stage and then get up onto it and grab the mic from one of the stagehands there and then shove the mic straight into his nose before finding his mouth under it. Oh, good Lord, you groaned internally with a laugh, smacking your hand to your face but still smiling underneath. It was hard to be mad at him when he was being such a goofball. He sang terribly for the first half of the song and then forgot the lyrics to the second half and just started making them up as he went, and his other friends, that were all pretty much as drunk as him at this point, started whooping and hollering at the top of their lungs, laughing and yelling things at him while he fumbled his way through the song until he just gave up and yelled. It's my birthday and my girl is here, he screamed into the mic, distorting it terribly and wrenching it from his face when it nearly burst an eardrum. With a grin and a wobbly step, he passed the mic back to the stagehand and then basically fell off the stage into his friend's arms and then fought his way back through the crowd to you to take your hand. Come, he called. Come with me. I want to show you off to my friends, he said with a wild slur as he turned around and then tried to figure out where his friends were, but he was facing in the opposite direction, so couldn't see them, obviously. You called, trying to get his attention. Where'd they go? He called. Babe, they're over this way, you said loudly, tapping him on the shoulder to point him in the right direction. Ah, he said, when he looked where you were pointing and spotted them through the people. Come this way, he said to you, acting like he knew where they were and completely ignoring the fact that you had been the one to spot them and point them out to him. Through the crowd you were dragged, and you smiled politely at them as he stopped before them. Hey guys, it's my girl, he said proudly. I'm going to propose to her tonight, but she doesn't know it yet, so shh. It's my birthday, he said loudly, and your face suddenly burned hot, your eyes darting around to find somewhere to look so that you didn't show too much emotion on your face, but everyone had seen the look on your face and you quickly looked up and shook your head at them, as if to tell them not to tell him that you were right there and that had heard him. But he seemed too drunk to even notice his mistake, and so then kept on talking to them, but you knew what you had heard and you didn't know what to do with the information. Wait, propose? He's going to propose while he's drunk? Is that a good idea? Did he think of this while sober and then got nervous and drank too much? I don't know what to do now. Do I act surprised? What if he doesn't have the ring with him and he's put it down somewhere and it's been stolen? So many questions ran through your mind, like a relay, with each question high-fiving the next one to come forth and sprint back the other way before letting the next one have its turn in the forefront of your mind. But your endless internal questions were halted when he spun around to see you and then froze. Oh, hi baby. How long have you been there? He asked. You looked down at his hand holding yours and debated quickly if you should tell him the truth or if you should say that you had just arrived. You said, looking at his friends who were all watching on curiously to see what you would say. I just got here and saw you. Oh, thank goodness, he said happily. I have a surprise for you. Oh, you do? You asked, glancing at his friends behind him who were all chuckling and covering their mouths, a few of them giving you the thumbs up behind his back. Yep, but it'll have to wait until after, because now I want you to come dance with me, he said excitedly. Oh, really? You asked as he dragged you over to where there was a small open space at the bar for people to dance to the music, and you basically had to hold him up the whole time he was that drunk. After 2 songs, you leaned in close to his ear and decided to call the next shot. You knew it was possibly going to be a late night, but better to keep the proceedings moving. In all honesty, it was probably better to have him home in bed, but you knew it was his special night, so you weren't going to cut things too short. But also, if you kept the night moving, then you hoped that it might push him into proposing to you earlier. You weren't really sure what to do, but it was getting late, and he had already been at the bar for a good hour before you got there, so you prompted him on his next move. Hey, should we head back to your friends? You asked him. Did you want to cut your cake and make a speech and then we can call it a night? Oh, yeah, my cake, he said excitedly, letting you lead him off over to the table of friends again. You stay here and I'll get the cake, you said to him as you left him and walked over to the bar to ask about his birthday cake. You assumed the friends had left it with the bar staff to be brought out at the right time, so you inquired about it and they said that they had it and would bring it out. So you thanked them and then headed back to your very overly happy and friendly boyfriend. In a matter of minutes they brought it out, and a very enthusiastic happy birthday song was sung, and then he cut his cake, kissed you, and the cake was distributed and enjoyed while the night continued on. 2 hours later, 4 hours later, more drinks and some food, and another hour later, and your man still hadn't proposed. Did he say it by accident? You wondered. Did I hear wrong? No, I don't think I did. You thought, maybe he forgot? You couldn't help but feel a little upset, and you felt even more stupid when he finally turned to you and announced that it was time to go home. We're off now, he shouted to his friends, who were all looking very much worse for wear. And then, with a barrage of hugs and goodbyes, you were taken from the bar, and you and he headed off down the road. You tried not to be too disappointed when you got back to your apartment and got inside with no other mention of the proposal. He must not have meant it, you thought, as you helped him get undressed in the dark of your bedroom, and he fell face first onto the bed. As you stood there looking at him lying on the bed, you could see that he had something written on his back, and you squinted in the dim light of the room, the faint moonlight and streetlight coming in from outside, illuminating his back just enough for you to be able to read it at a squint. Hey Yin, it read, if you're reading this, I'm very drunk and have probably forgotten to propose to you. I love you and I'm sorry I haven't done it yet. I promise I'll propose when I'm sober. It read. Idiot, you chuckled with a shake of your head. Then you went to the kitchen to get a texter to reply. The next morning, you woke first, rolling over to see if your man had survived the night and giggling when you saw his face. At the soft sound of your giggling, he woke up, immediately grabbing for his head when he tried to lift it off the pillow. "Oh, man. Oh, I don't feel good at all," he groaned as he rolled himself out of bed and ran for the ensuite. You could hear the contents of the previous night coming up, and then there was the sound of the tap in the basin being turned on and a long pause. "Hey, Yin," he called. "Yeah?" you shouted back with a giant grin on your face. "What does I say yes mean? And why is it written on my forehead?" You kept giggling. "It means I say yes," you called. "I'm confused," he said. Then it must have clicked. "Wait, you say yes? Wait, it's a yes?" "Yes!" you shouted, giggling as he came stumbling back into the room, shirtless, with your texter on his face, and he fell back onto the bed with you to give you a giant cuddle. "I love you," he cried as he held you. "I love you too," you said back, squeezing him tight. "It's okay, I know where the ring is. I didn't lose it," he said as he pulled back and grinned at you. "Okay, good, because that was going to be my next question," you said with a chuckle, hugging him again. Aww, how cute. Stay tuned for another Jujutsu Kaisen one-shot coming next week. I'll see you then.